When your son is called to fight in the army, it may feel like you and your family are cursed. And what do you do when you've tried everything to break a curse? The only thing left to try is human sacrifice. But that leaves a mess and bodies to dispose of. So, when you're a well-respected shop owner with a reputation to uphold, how do you dispose of the bodies of your sacrifices? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? You turn them into soap. Welcome, you spooky little minxes, to this bonus episode, little cheeky extra episode of Horror House. My name's Amy. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but it is. I'm Amy.
And my name is Tom, I'm fairly certain.
Good. It's a good start. And you, listener, yes, you listening to this right now, are totally and utterly sick in the head. But that's fine, because so are we. So you're in good company. Dom, how are you? Are you confused? Has my intro left you a bit confuzzled?
I am befuddled. I am flabbergasted. I've been hoodwinked. I've been run amok. I've been every other word I can think of. Yeah, this sounds... I'm good, by the way. I'm good.
Good.
This is a back-to-back recording.
Glad we got that cleared up.
I just rattled that I was not okay, so I thought that I should clarify that I am okay. I'm just
probably best.
A bit confused, which is actually quite normal. I spend most of my life confused. But no, I'm excited to hear about this episode. This is a double recording for those who don't know. We've just recorded Friday's episode, and we are very excited for you to hear it because it's a topic that me and Amy are very interested in.
Hell yeah.
But nobody gets made into soap in that episode.
Nobody does
so
get
I
made
am
into soap.
Intrigued.
I take it then from this, confusion that you haven't heard of the soap maker of Correggio.
I have not. No.
Then you are in for
this
a treat.
Sounds fascinating.
I'm so glad.
I'm in for a treat.
It's so rare that we actually do an episode where I find something that you haven't heard of or you haven't listened to on a different podcast or whatever. I mean, I don't think this case is gigantically well known. There's not a massive amount of information about it, but it's one that I think is super interesting. Honestly, partly because it's a woman, I just have it very often anyway. But just method and this are just, really prevalent in this. So I wanted to cover it as one of our little bonus episodes. Just to do a little bit of something extra for you. So I'm glad that you haven't heard of it.
Oh, absolutely. And even more exciting, Ames, unofficially, this is your second bonus episode. Unofficially, this is the second one. Because your first bonus episode, we couldn't release because we had technical problems, I'm pretty sure, and it's now a lost episode. So unofficially this is your second, but officially this is your first bonus episode. Ooh.
This is so true. I think we should clarify, it's my first lead on a bonus episode, not my first bonus.
Well, yeah, first lead.
But yes,
they know what I meant. The listeners know what I meant.
The listeners knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. So therefore, did I even really need to correct anything? No, is the answer. But I'm petty, and that's what I do. So no, officially it isn't. But my first bonus episode is lost to the true crime podcast void
to the world
forever. So it's fine. Yeah. I'm happy that this will be the first one because it's hopefully an interesting topic and one that not many people have heard of. So fingers crossed it'll be a fun one.
I'm excited.
Good.
Only we in the true crime sphere could be like, do you know there's a case about people being made into soap? And an acceptable response is, I am so excited to hear about this.
This is great. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, if you're not one of us, then you're not going to get it. But hopefully you are, which is why you're here. So it's fun. Cool. Should we dive straight in then? Should we learn a bit more about the lady herself?
Yes.
Marvelous.
Let's get all suzzed and soaped up and listen to this.
Let's get soapy. I don't know why I said. Sorry. Don't whisper it. Christ. We're getting the wrong sort of audience in. All right. Let's dive in. Oh no, I don't like. No, I this is the sort of thing I charge extra for on my OnlyFans.
Link in the bio.
Link in the bio. Sneaky link. Okay. So, Leonarda Cianciulli was born in Montella, Avellino, in what was then the Kingdom of Italy. She was quite a troubled youth, and she attempted suicide twice before the age of 17. In 1917, Cianciulli married a registry office clerk, Raphael Pansardi. Her mother did not approve of the marriage, as she had planned to marry her to another man who was offering a dowry. And instead she married someone that wasn't offering anything, so her mum was a bit peeved about that. Cianciulli had claimed that because of this and because of the unhappiness over the marriage to someone that wasn't offering anything to the family, her mother had cursed her and her husband. And it was this belief that would later lead to a lot of the things that we're going to talk about. In 1921, the couple moved to Pansardi's native town of Lauria in Potenza, where Cianciulli was sentenced and imprisoned for fraud in 1927. So, pretty young age, she's already doing a few naughty little things. What's a bit of fraud between friends? We don't mind fraud. That's
fraud is a harmless crime.
I mean, in terms of some of the things we talk about on here, it's really nothing.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. That is true.
When she was released, the couple moved to Lacedonia in Avellino. But after their home was destroyed by the 1930 Irpina earthquake, I believe is how you pronounce it, Irpina. They moved once more back to Correggio, where Cianciulli opened a small shop. She was very, very popular. Her shop was very popular, and she was very well respected within her local neighbourhood. Women, often came to the shop just for a chat with her, as opposed to actually buying anything. And she was quite a popular lady. Cianciulli was, however, very unlucky, which, led further into the belief that she was cursed. She had 17 pregnancies during her marriage, but she lost 3 of those children to miscarriage. She lost a further 10 who all died in their youth, varying reasons, cot death being one of them, just general illnesses that weren't died probably at the time. So she lost a lot of children. And consequently, Cianciulli was heavily protective of her 4 surviving children. Add on top of all of that, obviously she already believed. Yeah, of course, I think so. I think, if you've lost that many, you've got a bit of a right to be protective over the remaining 4.
Yeah. 100%.
So she already believes that her mother cursed her. But on top of that, her fears were fueled by a warning that she had received from a fortune teller who said that she would marry and have children, but that all of the children would die young. She also visited a Romany gypsy who practiced palm reading and who told her, quote, "In your right hand, I see prison, and in your left hand, a criminal asylum."
Okay.
That's a nice thing to hear.
I mean,
from a fortune teller, isn't it?
Yeah, like you're like, okay, so there's one hand isn't great, but the other hand will balance it out. It'll be, and then both hands are just a bit, well, it's prison or a mental
Shit.
asylum. So
Yeah. It's like the
yeah.
definition of shit in your hands, and either way, it's good.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. 100%.
you know,
100%. Bless her.
is what it is. In 1939, which is a year I'm sure will stand out in a lot of people's minds as the start of the Second World War, Cianciulli learned that her eldest son and favourite child, not that we're playing favourites, but everyone's got one, her favourite child, Giuseppe, was going to join the Royal Italian Army in preparation for the Second World War. She was absolutely determined to protect him at all costs. And obviously, with all of these things in her mind about being cursed and about what the Romany Gypsy had told her, what the fortune teller had told her, she came to the conclusion that the only way to keep him safe during the war while he was away would require human sacrifice.
Right.
I'm not really sure what options she
Naturally.
ruled out before she got to that point.
Yeah. Because
But
you would, I imagine there's quite a lot that you would rule out before you got to human sacrifice. I can't imagine that is high on the list of things that you would. That's quite low, and you eliminate a lot of things before you get to that.
I mean, to be fair, he's joining the army, so he's already got a gun. Like, in terms of protecting people,
that is true.
Guns are usually quite
That
high
is
up
true.
on that list. It's normally your first point of call.
Yeah.
As to how you protect yourself. So she's obviously looked at that and gone, well, that's not enough. You clearly need a bit more help. So human sacrifice. That's where we're going to go next. Of course.
Yeah.
It's straight gun, human sacrifice. This is the levels protection. We all know this.
You may have.
I don't know why I'm defending her. She's mental.
Something that you're missing.
So yeah, I mean, she decided that human sacrifice was the way she was going to protect her son.
Naturally.
And Cianciulli
absolutely
found her victims in 3 middle-aged women, all of whom were her neighbours. The first of Cianciulli's victims was Faustina Setti, who was a lifelong spinster and had come to her for help in finding a husband. Again, not 100% sure why you would go to a shop owner to help you find a husband. Presumably, she thought she knew a lot. So she thought, I guess this is the 1939 equivalent of someone going, yeah, you got any fit mates?
Yeah, pretty much. And, this is pre-Tinder, pre-Hinge,
Well, yeah. Yeah. No swiping right.
Other
so
apps there are. No, that's it. There was no right swiping in 1930. You had to do it the old-fashioned way, which is get me a fella.
Which is go to the shop and ask your mate, which apparently is the only way to get married. Luckily, Cianciulli said that she did know of a suitable partner in Pulla, which was the next town over, and asked her to tell absolutely no one of this news. It was important that it be kept secret before they met. She also persuaded Setti to write letters and postcards to relatives and friends. They were going to be mailed once she reached Pulla to them know that everything was fine and that she was meeting potentially her future husband and love of her life.
Okay.
Preparing for her departure, Setti came to visit Cianciulli one last time. That was a mistake, I think it's safe to say, because Cianciulli killed her with an axe and dragged the body to a closet where it was cut into 9 parts and its blood was gathered in a basin.
Yikes.
As you do.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, it did a bit, didn't it? Sorry, I have a habit of doing that with my cases. It just goes from 0 to dead real fast. But yeah, essentially she killed her. Cianciulli described what happened in her official statement much later. She says, quote, I threw the pieces into a pot, added 7 kilos of caustic soda, which I had bought to make soap, and stirred the mixture until the pieces dissolved in a thick, dark mush. that I poured into several buckets and emptied into a nearby septic tank. As for the blood in the basin, I waited until it had coagulated, dried it in the oven, ground it and mixed it with flour, sugar, chocolate, milk, and eggs, as well as a bit of margarine, kneading all the ingredients together. I made lots of crunchy tea cakes and served them to the ladies who came to visit, though Giuseppe and I, her husband, also ate them.
I mean, you've got to approve your own creation.
She is known as the soap maker of Correggio. However, she's also a cannibal. I might have forgotten to mention that. Sorry.
She likes to dine on the human meat.
Yeah.
Acquired taste.
Not my personal taste. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a sort of like... It's like a sweet version of Mrs. Lovett. And, you know, Sweeney Todd and her meat pies.
Yeah.
This is the dessert. You have some blood tea cakes. It's... Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, you've got to do something with them.
You go to Miss Lovett and you get a pie. You're like, okay, now I want something a bit sweet. And then you go and visit this lovely lady, and you go and have your tea cake, and you know you're good. Have
you
some
get
wine
yourself a
your
bloody
nipples.
tea cake, literally. It's, you know, it's nice. So yeah, that was what became of Faustina Setti. She was turned into soap in the septic tank, and the rest of her blood was eaten in tea cakes by the local ladies. Some sources also recorded that Cianciulli apparently received Setti's life savings, took those out, around 30,000 lira, as a payment for her services, and also was rumoured to have stolen her jewellery and clothes and sold those on as well. So she was really making the most of this first victim, considering that she was doing it to, protect her son. There was a tiny bit of profit in it as well.
He comes home from the war. And she's got like an entire new wardrobe, and he's just like,
yeah.
So, why with the new wardrobe? She's like, it was to protect you, son. You ungrateful. Don't judge me.
Fuck's sake. The kids today don't know how good they've got it.
This was all for you, son. She says in her new dress and massive hat.
Yeah, I mean, she's got an interesting approach. But obviously, just one human sacrifice was never going to be enough to protect her favourite son. And that is why Francesca Salvi became her second victim. Cianciulli claimed to have found her a job at a school for girls in Piacenza, I believe is how you say that. Like Setti, Salvi was persuaded to write postcards to all of her friends, her family, this time from Correggio, detailing plans, letting them know what she was going to be up to. She was given drugged wine when she came to visit Cianciulli for the last time, and again was killed with axe because he got an axe, she might as well use it, yes. This murder occurred on the 5th of September 1940, so just under a year. So, Salvi's body was given the exact same treatment as Setti's, and Cianciulli is said to have obtained another 3,000 lira from this victim as well. So again, more than profit in, more than getting her a little bit of extra on the side, presumably a clean-up cost.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it. Definitely, I would say clean-up costs 100%.
Definitely. But you know what they say, Dom. You know what they say about, life circumstances, lucky charms, and human sacrifices. 3 is the magic number. So, Cianciulli's third and final victim was the widow, Virginia Cacipo. Cacipo, that's what I'm going to go with. Cacipo. I don't know. That might be completely wrong. If there's any Italians listening, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm
singing that
Scottish. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's quite... You were singing that more than you were saying it. It was quite entertaining to listen to.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you should say that because Virginia Cacipo, Cacipo was a former soprano,
Cacipo.
said to have sung at La Scala. For her, Cianciulli claimed to have found her work as a secretary for a mysterious impresario in Florence. How glamorous.
Wow.
As with the other two women, she was instructed not to tell a single person where she was going. And I've got to say her name so much. Cacipo agreed. Oh, stop laughing. I'm not going to say her name anymore. This is just third victim. Like everyone else, she agreed that she wasn't going to tell anyone. And like everyone else, she came to visit Cianciulli for the last time on the 30th of September 1940. The pattern to the murder was very much the same as the first two. She was given drugged wine and then killed with an axe. However, unlike the first two victims, third victim's body was melted to make soap. And this is where Cianciulli's nickname, pseudonym, I'm not sure what you want to call it, of the soap maker of Correggio. This is where it came from.
Yeah.
According to her statement, quote, she ended up in the pot like the other two. Her flesh was fat and white, and when it had melted, I added a bottle of cologne, and after a long time on the boil, I was able to make the most acceptable creamy soap. I gave the bars to the neighbours and acquaintances. The cakes, too, were better. That I gave as gifts to many of my neighbours. That woman was really sweet.
Jesus. What a gift. What an amazing gift to give your neighbour. My Lord. Like, some people take a casserole to their neighbour. Some people no. She's just like, here's this. Don't ask me where it came from. Just there you go. Enjoy.
I mean, you wouldn't question it, really, would you? Like, if someone gave you some soap, you wouldn't be like,
no.
Oh, well, this is obviously human.
Yeah.
That's not your first thought, really.
True.
So I guess it's. Funnily enough, I have got a friend that runs a soap company, and I might mention this story to him just to sort of say, have you ever thought about this as an avenue?
Just to clarify,
just to double check,
just to clarify,
it's not human.
Listeners, yeah, as far as we know, this is not the same kind of soap.
No,
clarify.
No, it definitely isn't.
This person's business.
No.
Got nothing to worry about.
It definitely isn't. Oh God, I feel bad now. Josh, if you're listening, I know that your soap isn't made of humans. Carlisle Soap Company, please go have a little look at their product. They're not made of human. They're made of all natural ingredients and they're very lovely. So go check them out. However, Cianciulli did make soap out of people and has admitted it to the police. From her third victim, Cianciulli reportedly received 50,000 lira, assorted jewels and public bonds.
Damn.
And she even sold all of her victims' clothing and her shoes. So considering that the only supposed reason she is making all of these sacrifices to protect her son who's gone off to fight in the war, she's made a lot of money out of these people.
But yeah, she's getting a lot for protecting her son.
Yeah, she's definitely not. Maybe she's just opportunistic. Maybe she's just seen that there's a bit of money and some clothes, and maybe she just fancied, making a little bit of extra cash on the side. Maybe she kept it to one side to give to her son when he got back. Who knows? Who are we to judge? Although at the same time, she is killing people and turning into soap. So
yeah,
balance of probability, she's
maybe
not the nicest person.
I don't think I'd want to go around her house for a cup of tea, because I'll probably be turned into a soap bar or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably best to avoid her place and her shop. She was selling the stuff in the shop as well.
She'll be like, "What do you think of the tea?" And I'll be like, "I could use a bit more. It could be a bit stronger." And then that'll be it. That'll be it. She'll be like, "Okay, cool. Okay."
You fucking what? You think my tea is not strong enough? Soap.
Yeah.
You're getting soaked.
Just go into this room, Dom. Why? No, just go.
There isn't.
Just go. Fine, no worry about it.
Ignore the basin. Don't worry about that. Yeah, that's just caustic soda. Not an issue. Don't worry. No problems here.
Ignore the smell.
Everybody's safe and happy. We're all good. And who knows how long this would have gone on for? Perhaps indefinitely. If it hadn't been for the fact that Cacipo's sister-in-law, Albertina Fanti, grew suspicious of her sudden disappearance and had last seen her entering Cianciulli's house. She reported her fears to the superintendent of police, who opened an investigation and soon arrested Cianciulli. Cianciulli was not forthcoming with her confession. However, there was a point where the police believed that her son, her favourite son, the one that went to war, Giuseppe Pansardi, may be involved in the crime. At this point, she decided to very much spill the beans. She didn't want anyone to think he was involved or that he had to do it or anything like that. So she definitely confessed. She provided detailed accounts of what she'd done, and she wanted to make it very clear that she did it. Although she did it for her son, he was not to blame. Nothing to do with it. Cianciulli was tried for murder in Reggio Emilia in 1946. She remained unrepentant, going so far as to correct the account while on the stand. At her trial, this is a quote from the trial at the time. At her trial in Reggio Emilia last week, poetess Leonarda gripped the witness stand rail with oddly delicate hands and calmly set the prosecutor right on certain details. Her deep-set dark eyes gleamed with a wild inner pride as she concluded, quote, "I gave the copper ladle, which I used to skim the fat off the kettles, to my country, which was so badly in need of metal during the last days of the..."
Okay.
How noble.
It's fine then. It's fine. She donated her bowl to the war effort. It's fine. Let's just sweep the cannibalistic stuff and sweep the soap making from humans under the rug. It's all fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Like, soldiers probably need soap as well. Maybe just give them some soap. It's, we balance this out. It's no big deal.
She's a true pillar of the community.
Yeah. What an absolute legend. Cianciulli was found guilty of her crimes and sentenced to 30 years in prison and 3 years in a criminal asylum. She died of cerebral apoplexy in the Women's Criminal Asylum in Pozzuoli on the 15th of October 1970. A number of artifacts from the case, including the pot in which the victims were boiled, are on display at the Criminology Museum in Rome. So if you fancy a day out and you happen to be in Rome, why not go have a look at a massive pot that, had people that got made into soap in it? That'd be a nice day out.
I couldn't think of anything better to do.
Right?
If you're like, I'm really stuck on what to do for a first date, that's your answer. You go to Rome.
And you look at human soap making pots.
And you look at human soap making pots.
That is god tier date behavior.
If you take a lady on your first date, if you take her to look at some human soap making utensils, and she does not stay, then just spin it off. Spin it off.
We'll give you your money back.
No. Yeah, exactly. Be like, you know what? I'm gonna go and find someone else.
Yeah.
She's not.
She ain't worth having. If she's not impressed by that, what's the point? A lot of things have been inspired by Cianciulli's tale, but my favourite is the fact that a darkly comic play was written about her and first produced in 1979. It began a run on Broadway in 1983. But the reason it's my favourite is because of the title of the play. It's called Love and Magic in Mama's Kitchen. Because of course it is.
Thing, is it?
It's real. It's real. I promise you it's real. And it's inspired.
That's amazing.
I mean, Sweeney Todd's a real play. Granted, that's fictional, but that's a real play, so why not
No,
this?
True.
I guess.
True.
That is the
Wow.
story
I
of
need to
Leonarda
I need to
Cianciulli.
like see some clips of this this play, because that sounds
Right?
amazing.
I know. Yeah, I
Oh
think it's
dear.
if it ever gets made over here, we should definitely go see it. See that on the West End. But yes, that is the story of Leonardo Cianciulli, the soap maker of Correggio. So now that you're aware of the story, do you wish you were, or do you wish you'd
That was
just
wild.
been in blissful ignorance of it?
That was wild. Because I'm a sick puppy, I'm actually kind of glad I know about it now. I found it entertaining, which I know sounds extremely strange. If you listen to this podcast, you're not going to find it strange, because we
You're
talk
here.
about things on this show that like no reasonable person would enjoy, but because we're us, we do. But no, I found it was quite a fascinating story. I just love how like this was all to protect her son. This is all to
Right.
protect her boy. My mum didn't do this to protect me. I feel shafted. I feel cheated.
Yeah, but you've also not gone to fight in the
I'm
war.
sorry.
It's a bit different.
Yeah, but nobody made. My mum didn't make soap for. I'm joking, mum. Don't take this seriously.
Don't listen to
You're.
that. You did the best you could with this fucking problem child. Don't worry about
it. Oh dear. She's listening to this whenever she listens to it, and she's just like, "Well, looks like I have 2 sons, not 3."
As she
But no,
skims
it was
ladles the fat off of a tub of soap.
But no, it was definitely an interesting case. I had no idea about this woman. I had no idea about what she did. So it's always nice to learn something new, even though it's always horrific when it comes to this show if we don't know about it. But yeah, it was very entertaining. So yes, thank you for this little gem of a bonus episode. It was very interesting, very intriguing.
My pleasure. Not bad for a first one, eh? Not bad for a first.
Smashed it.
Sing us out, Dom, if you can, if you want to.
I will gladly see us out. Thank you for listening to this week's bonus episode. I feel that this makes up for not being able to get a bonus episode out a few weeks ago. I think we've definitely more than made up for that. We hope you enjoyed. If you do want to support our show, there are a variety, a multitude, a smorgasbord, what's another word for many?
An excellent selection.
Help me out here, Amy. Thank you. An excellent selection of ways that you can do that. You can follow us on Instagram at horrorhouse_pod. We are 30 followers away from 1,000. So,
yeah,
get following and tell other people to follow. You can follow us on your podcast app of choice. You can also leave us a review on Spotify. Leave us a rating on Spotify. Leave us a review on Apple and the website. And of course, put a little something in the Q&A section on Spotify. Give us a little message that we can read. So it would be lovely. If you want to support us financially, there is the Buy Me a Coffee link. And there's also the merch store as well. And also, we can't forget about the Discord server. If you want to join us on Discord, the link will be in the show notes. Go and join the Discord. But all that's left to say from me is until next time, which is only going to be a few days, because you're lucky lot. That's how much we love you. Stay spooky.
Stay spooky, you soapy little fuck. That was aggressive, sorry. got a lot of internal rage. What can I say?
Oh my goodness me. Right. So I need some new soap. Does this woman have a website? Did
Oh,
descendants carry this on?
Yeah. I wonder what it smells like.
Oh God. Oh, that's a really good question. Oh no.